Hey guys, it's the Unsmooth Criminal, and I'm gonna be doing this one very, very slow. This is also a redo for the first part of it. This is what if deku was being hunted, and you guys probably saw the last one if you guys clicked on this video, but it's gonna have the same process as the last one, where she goes to that place and then has that thing happen to her. I'm not telling you immediately, but I'm also gonna change a few things. So we start off with a sickly child. She's roughly 6. Yeah, her age is going to change a lot. And UA is a college in this one. Just to tell you. She's suffering from a genetic disease, and she doesn't have very much time left to live. So she goes to a doctor who says that he can help, but there's a chance that her quirk and her entire genetic profile will change. And they go, we don't care, we just want our daughter to be healthy again. So he does some tests. He finds out what the problem with genes are is they're literally disintegrating themselves. They're destroying themselves. So he puts together a few genetic codes that will help. And her ability is called the Slayer. And I'm about to go into something. So all the weapons are most likely from the Doomslayer game. Really good game. You guys should go check it out. The latest one is Doom Eternal. The one before that, Doom. And then there's the old-fashioned Dooms. You should go watch them out. Go watch them. Play them. They look really fun. I haven't played them, but they look really fun. And I love the lore behind Doom Slayer. And no one knows her name because she's just a little kid. They don't really need to know her name. They just need to know she's patient 62. So they just keep referring to her as numbers, and she gets better after the man injects her with a little serum. And she slowly gets a lot better. And she's now 7, and she's free to leave the hospital now. So she leaves, and she's stronger, she's faster, she has better sense of smell, sight, hearing, she's more durable, and her genetic codes aren't destroying themselves. So the parents take her back to the quirk doctor, and the quirk doctor checks her quirk, and he sees that her quirk has changed from the last time he's checked it. Because he was the one who checked it and told them that, oh, she has a genetic problem that you need to get figured out. And he sees that her genetic code is not destroying itself. So he says, good news, she's not sick anymore. Bad news, she doesn't have the same quirk, and I don't know what it is. And they all go, okay, what can we do to figure it out? And he goes, try anything legal that you can try, because I can't tell you the name like I normally can. Last time it was Slayer, so it's got to be something close to that. So we skip 3 years. She's 10. UA is going to be a college. That's important. But she's not going to be 18 when she joins UA. Just saying. Because you don't have to be 18 to join college. So she's coming home from school, and she sees that both of her parents aren't home yet. So she starts cleaning up the house, being a good daughter, and the house is completely clean. So she's like, I'm done with my chores and homework. So she turns on the TV and sees the news. Breaking news. A couple was murdered coming out of the department store Right? And they don't say the names of the people murdered. They just say that they're murdered and they can't identify the bodies, even though they can. So she starts breaking down crying because she just lost her parents. Because she saw the pictures and they said that they don't know who this is. If you know who this is, please call. Well, so they showed the pictures and she's crying nonstop. And then someone knocks on the door. So she cleans herself up. She gets prepared with a straight face. So she walks to the door and she's hoping that it's them. She's hoping that was a fake news report, that nothing's actually happened to them. She opens the door and she gets shot. Not with an actual gun, a dart gun. And she lets off a scream before she just falls face first on the floor. Now, we go a few days later, she's finally waking up. She's strapped to a chair, and there's little needles right in front of her about to be put into her arm. And she sees the doctor that cured her of her illness. And he goes, "Well, glad you're awake. Time for some fun." And she saw the sadistic smile on his face, and she goes, "Where am I?" And he goes, "Oh, no need to worry. This is going to be just some good old tests, and then some games. Nothing is going to be too bad." So he puts all the injections into her at once. 10 days later, she finally wakes up. She's strapped to a hospital bed. And just by moving her arm up, she rips out of the restraints and holds her head because it hurts. Her head hurts. There's pounding in her head because, well, you've just been sleeping for 10 days. You're gonna have something wrong with you. She's dehydrated. So she ripped out of the restraints, and the restraints had a radio on them that if they get broken, that a team would run in and subdue her, or subdue any of the or people in the apartment. So the team runs in, and they're holding guns to her, and she's freaking out. So she holds her hands up and just leaves them up because she doesn't want to get shot, and they're using actual real guns. So she's holding her hands up, and the doctor comes in like, "What the hell are you doing? She just woke up." And he sees the restraints, and he's like, "Oh. Put your arms down. Calm down." And he's telling her to calm down. And she's like, "Why should I calm down? Where are my parents?" And he goes, "Your parents died. And they signed off a contract that if they died, you'd be sent to us for more research and to make sure that you are still healthy." And he says, "And the good thing is, you're healthy. The bad thing is, you gotta test stuff. So, goodbye." And he flicks a switch on the wall, and the bed sucks her down. So she's still on the mattress. She still has the blankets over her, but she's completely sucked down because the bed opened up underneath. And she falls on her back onto the ground. She doesn't know where she is. She looks around and she sees that she's on an island. But this isn't a normal island. The sky is red and the water looks like it's on fire. The trees are dead and there's random creatures running around. And this giant creature is about to attack her because of stuff. Because it's got a giant freaking sword on it. And she can see through the sword. She's freaking out. The creature tries to attack her, and the creature swings at her and leaves a giant gash across her chest. And her fighting instincts, because she's a fighter, kick in. And she starts beating the crap out of the monster in front of her. And then she sees another person drop from the sky. And she runs over to that person, and the person tries to kill her. So she uses her bare hands to rip off the person's head on instinct. Because she has a killer instinct from the creatures that were injected into her. The creature's DNA that were injected into her. And now she starts freaking out. Because she just killed someone. And this man comes over the radio on her neck, because she does have a collar on, saying, "Congratulations, you just leveled up to level 1. And she's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And she's starting to hyperventilate, and he's like, calm down. You're not leaving for at least 12 years. And she goes, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, you're the star of the show now. Wave to the camera." And if anybody's played the Distillery, the Thanksgiving DLC for Borderlands, those cameras, yeah, you see that flying around. And she tries to hide from the camera. And he's like, "You can't hide in this terrain. But if you do survive the water, you can swim over to another island that's a little greener." So she walks over to the water and puts her hand over the flames, and she feels no heat. So she steps into the water. It goes from frigid flames to boiling water. And she pulls her foot out, because she's pretty much stripped, because she's just in a hospital gown. And her entire foot is perfectly fine. But she couldn't control it. It started to shake uncontrollably. It started to spasm to where she can't do anything except for pull it out. So she's like, screw it. And she just jumps in. And her body's about to give out from the frigid cold to the intense heat immediately. So when she finally gets used to this, she starts swimming. And she's been under the water for like good 2-3 minutes. And she starts swimming more and more and more to where she's now 5 minutes away from where she started. So she's in the middle of nowhere, and she finally sees the flames lit up on the water. And she's like, "This is strange." So she goes over to the edge, and she pops her head up and starts breathing heavily, like she's just been drowning. Because she's not used to holding her breath that long, but apparently she's able to do so. So she starts swimming away from the flames, and she finally gets to a sandy beach. So she gets up on the sandy beach. She's like, "What the hell is this place?" And a little sign hovers down saying, "Welcome to hell. Free demons and villains to kill." And then she's like, "What?" And the game master comes up and he goes, "Well, I'm the game master. You're going to be here for 12 years. Each year, and I know your birthday, so I'll give you a present on your birthday. Because who else is going to give you a present besides me? I'll give you a present. And when you're done with this game, you'll be able to see your parents again. She's like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, I got a little thing called a time quirk. But each time I use my time quirk, I give a little bit of my life away. So I have a deal for you. If you're willing to play my game fully, and all the way through for the 12 years, I will give you your parents back. I'll go to where before they died, and I'll shoot them a message before I pass on, because I'm not that long to live. So I'll shoot them a message saying, your daughter is in trouble at school. You need to go pick her up. And they won't go to the department store and get attacked by the villain. And I'll tell you who the villain is, too. So when you do become a hero, you can either kill them or arrest them. So I'll give you that option. But on one condition. You play the game and you win. And she's like, what do I have to do to win? And he goes, well, wave to the camera for your first task. And so she waves to the camera and she acts like this is a TV show. And currently on TV, it's a broadcast saying, hello everybody, this is a new show that we hope you enjoy. It's going to be a 12-year running show, and once the 12 years is up, this is getting cut from the air. There's going to be gore, there's going to be blood, there's going to be guts. Everybody in this show is paid actors that we have set up to look like they've died in the most gory way possible. So it looks real. And it's giving all these disclaimers that this show's fake, there's nothing real about it. And every hero in town is watching, every villain in town is watching, except for one. All for one, because he's currently in a test tube. But All Might's watching, because he's currently in the hospital bed. Every hero's watching, every civilian's watching. There's only one hero that's not actually watching. It's Aizawa. He's currently watching the news for any criminal activities. So, we go back to the Doomslayer. And I'm going to be calling her that, because that's just going to be the easier name for her. This is not an original name. It's the name of the character in Doom Eternal. Doom. And Doom Guy was the name of the... I think it's the second Doom game. And then the first Doom game, the first ever Doom game, it was the Marine. That was supposed to... And I know this from a video that I've watched. I might be able to put it in the description if I remember. But I watched it and it said that Marine was the... Or Doom Marine was the original name from the company, I think. It said Doom Marine. Don't quote me on anything. Unless it's like little facts, like fish facts. Like shark facts. Or goldfish facts. Which are little things that are not important to any kind of story. You can quote me on, because I probably know them correctly. So, we go 2 days, and everybody's like, have you seen the new show? Have you been seeing? And everybody's talking about it. Aizawa finally gets a hear of it, or an earful of it. And he watches it one day for like 5 minutes, and he sees that this is like a real life survival game. Like this person is trapped here. And the game master has been, on these 2 days, all he's been saying is rip and tear. That's all. And she keeps asking, what do you mean? And on the thing, they can't see her mouth move because they're editing it really quickly, because they got some hackers, they got some digital programmers, they got everybody possible trying to keep it to where they think that she's alone and the paid actors are the villains. So every few minutes, the game master says a new villain has been released. Your goal for these next few minutes till the next one is released is hunt them down, and you'll get something else needed to survive. So every few minutes, a new one is released. The very first one that she comes into contact with is not the first one she's supposed to kill. This guy has a sword. And this isn't just any kind of sword. This is from an anime, and she recognizes what the sword is because it's from an anime and she liked the anime. It's from the anime Berserk. Don't own Berserk, don't own My Hero, don't own Doom. Just saying. Little disclaimer. It's from Berserk. And he pulls it off just like Guts does. And he starts swinging around just like Guts does. And she's dodging. She's barely being missed. So she has a really heavy, like, pommel from that sword that demon she saw gave her from her killing. So she throws it at him, and he catches it and immediately drops in his arm because it's heavy to him. And she thought it was light. So she runs at him, and he swings the sword, and the sword looks heavy to him because it is heavy to him. And she catches it. And she's like, what the hell? So she grabs the handle and rips it out of his hand and slams him upside the head, cutting him from the left side of the neck all the way down to his hip joint with just one swing of the sword. So she grabs the pommel again and she puts it back where she has been keeping it, and she sees that the sword and something else is there. She sees a little box, and it's wrapped like a present, and it says, "Open if you wish." So she opens it, and the game master says, "Ooh, achievement unlocked, clothing." And she goes, "Really?" So she pulls out a tank top. And he goes, "What? You can't be in a hospital gown forever." So she puts it on, and it's perfect fit. And he says, don't worry. It will grow to your size while you're growing. So you don't have to ever take it off, but you will have to wash it. And she goes, "That friggin' duh. You gotta wash every clothes." And he goes, "No. Not your undergarments. Your undergarments are high-tech material that doesn't get ever dirty. So you don't have to worry about that. But you will have to wash yourself." And she goes, "God dang. Fine." So she's currently running around just in a tank top and undergarments. And she comes up across another person. And he says, "Hey, you found the first person you're supposed to kill. Well, here's a little tidbit. He fast. So be careful." And she goes, "Friggin' dumbass." And so she goes across every few seconds, and she's been just stalking him now. She's been stalking him, and she is small compared to them. These are full-grown men and women that are massive compared to her, because she was a premature child, and she is small, which is going to change. And she finally pipes up to the game master after a few hours of stalking the guy and goes, "Do you know what my quirk is?" And he goes, "Yeah." "You want to know what it is?" And she goes, "No. Just tell me whenever it activates." And he goes, "Okay, it already did, by the way." And she goes, "Good to know." Um, time to get going. So she runs at a guy by jumping off a tree trunk and running at him with a very, very intense look on her face. Yeah. So he sees her, and he remembers the picture that they showed him, and it says, if you could survive a month with her hunting you, you are free to leave. And he was given a map to the exit that only he can see, because each person has a different exit. So she slaughters him. And we're going to skip a few years. Or, no, not a few years. A few months. Everybody that has been released the first month has been killed. Everybody who's been released lately has slowly been chewed away. And, yes, I'm currently doing some stuff on the outside. I need to do this. But everybody who's been put into this hell, and that's all she can call it, is hell, because that's all she knows it as. If she called it Paradise Island, she'd be lying to herself. She'd be lying to herself and, well, believing the Game Master, because the Game Master calls this Paradise Island, and the other place hell, and calls this game Highway to Hell. And the intro is the AC/DC song, Highway to Hell. Yes, I'm making that reference. I like that song. That's a good song. But everybody that is being released, and this is a day before or something special, and he keeps reminding her, and she doesn't know what day of the year it is, so she doesn't know what it is. And there is a day-night cycle for this game, by the way. And he goes, okay, everybody who's been released, you must kill by tomorrow, or you won't get your special thing tomorrow. And I'll tell you where to get it. And she goes, fine. So she runs around the island as fast as she could possibly go, killing all the villains that were released. And she didn't know, but there were demons being released too onto this island. They were being taken from the other island and put on this island because she doesn't want to go back to the other island. So he says, congratulations, you have 3 hours left to kill the remaining 3 demons. And she goes, you only said people. And he goes, no, I said kill everything that's been released. And she's freaking damn it. So she's running around the island, and she has like 10 minutes left, and she finally finds the last demon. And this is not just any ordinary demon. This is a little imp. This has been an imp that's trying to hide from her. The demons kind of know who she is and know to stay away from her after she killed a few of them. She kind of has that aura of, stay away, I'm dangerous, to the demons. So, the imp is like, yeah, I don't want to stay here. So it tries running, and she goes, hey, Game Master, can I keep it as a pet? And he goes, do you want that or a present? And she goes, I kind of want a pet. I don't really care for a present. And he goes, okay. I'll allow you to keep the imp as a pet on one condition. And she goes, what? And he goes, you take the present, but you cannot open it till next year. And she goes, okay, hold on. What day is it today? And he goes, well, in 2 seconds, it'll be your exact birth date. The second 2. And he goes, well, happy birthday. And she goes, so it's blank. And he goes, yeah, it is. I wanted to surprise you with a present, but you can't open it until next year. Don't worry, there's some food for the imp in the thing. And I'll give you food for the imp every few days. Or you could just feed the imp, the people. Because I do release food for you. But you haven't been eating in the last few months. We've been having to go to commercial break every few hours so you can supposedly eat. And she's like, wait, you're actually putting this on TV? And he goes, duh. Have I ever lied to you in this little time you've known me? And she goes, no. Freaking sad though. He goes, don't worry. I'm gonna give you all the money that I make. That's if you take my deal. Because I'm not letting you go until this game is done. But if you take my deal, where I reset the world in time, I keep all the money I've made. So I can give you money when you go back in time. You'll keep all your strength, but your age will be regressed to that of when your parents died. And she goes, okay. It sounds like a good deal. And he goes, yeah, it is. For you. Oh, and I'll also give you all the assets that I have currently. And she goes, how many assets do you have? And he goes, yes. And she goes, what? And he goes, yes, I have that many assets. And she goes, well, how about this? And he goes, what? You give me my present, you allow me to open it, but I won't be able to actually use it until next year. I'll leave it at the center till next year. And he goes, ooh, I like that. Okay. You can open it, but you're not allowed to use it or let it leave the center until next year. And I'll lock it away in a cage, so if you do come back for it, you won't be able to actually grab it until next year. And she goes, okay, I accept that deal. And he goes, yay! You're gonna love this. And she goes, what is it? And he goes, I can't tell you. That's the whole point of having presents. They're supposed to be secret until you open it. And she goes, true. So she walks over to the center, and she's starting to actually like the Game Master because he's very forthcoming with information. She goes to the center, and she sees a little package, and she sees that it's small. It's like 6 by 6 by a yard. 6 inches by 6 inches by 36 inches. And she sees this and goes, what? And he goes, well, there's actually 2 items in there. I'm allowing you to take one because you kind of need one for the thing you have on your hip already. But there's 2 of them in there, and one activates one and the other activates the other. Depending on what color you want for each. Depends on which one you activate which with. And she goes, okay. Is there a difference between colors? And he goes, yes. Each color represents the effect that they have on either people or the things around it. And she goes, okay. She grabs the box and feels how heavy it is. And it's heavy. Yes, I'm making it really heavy at this point. And she grabs the little thing on her hip and she holds it on one end of the box. And it's not very heavy. Or it gets lighter. And then she holds it on the other end of the box. And it gets heavier. And she's like, what? And he goes, don't worry. Just open the box already. And she goes, okay. So she opens up the box and she goes, wait. why did you just give me a stick? And he goes, I didn't give you a stick. Look at the design. And she sees the very top of it has the same design as the hilt of, the hilt of the apparent sword that she has. And she goes, okay, why do I have another sword hilt? And he goes, it's not a sword. It isn't. And she goes, oh, really? Oh, it's noon. Yay! She goes, oh, really? Then what is it? And he goes, you're just going to have to wait till next year to find out. So do you want a blue sword or do you want a red sword? And she goes, what color did the demon have? And he goes, oh, the demon had a clear sword. And she goes, I know that. But what was the tint? And he goes, oh, that was red. She goes, So she holds the blue thingy next to the axe. And she goes, give me 2 minutes and I'll be back. And she grabs the camera and thrusts it into the ground so it's stuck in the ground. Because she can't destroy the camera, apparently. Because each time she destroys the camera, a new one comes out just out of nowhere. So she walks over to a tree and she swings the axe as hard as she can because she activated it. And she sees that it cut through the tree and left a frost burn. Or ice burn. Or freezer burn, whatever you want to call it. And she goes, So that's what the blue one does. And she pulls it off and then she grabs the red one, puts it on the axe, walks back to another tree, cuts it in half, and there's fire left. She goes, okay, red is fire and blue is ice. So if I use red, I can cauterize wounds. If I use blue, I can also cauterize wounds. But if I use blue and I don't kill them immediately... And she just grabs the blue and puts it on her sword and leaves the red axe there. And puts the thingy on the little tablet on the base of the stand. The red tablet on the base of the stand and says, okay, I decided. And she pulls the camera out of the hole. She goes, I decided. I have a blue sword now. And he goes, good job. I also brought you a few items, and these items are going to help you and hurt you at the same time. And she goes, oh God. And he goes, oh, don't worry, the new weapon is your gift. These items you're going to need, because I'm going to start ramping up of who gets sent. So you get either a semi-automatic shotgun or a super shotgun. And she goes, what's the difference? And he goes, super shotgun, you shoot both bullets at the same time, and it's basically a sawed-off shotgun. And you have to wait for something to be unlocked with it by finding it. And then the semi-automatic shotgun has a grenade launcher attachment that you can find out in the world, and you can have a fully automatic attachment to it. So you choose. And she goes, well, I like fully auto stuff. I've always liked fully automatic stuff. That's basically done for you. So let's do fully auto shotgun. He goes, you're gonna have to find that attachment. So semi-auto it is. Then you have to decide. A Vulcan cannon? And she goes, what the hell is a Vulcan cannon? He goes, it's either a Vulcan cannon or, I really don't want to do this to you, a pistol. And she goes, a pistol. And he goes, okay. So the pistol has the ability to upgrade in caliber or downgrade in caliber, depending on what you choose. Upgrading means it hits harder. Downgrading means it's faster to fire. She goes, I'm going to upgrade the caliber when I find it. And he goes, good. Now you have a 3-shot pistol and you have a semi-automatic shotgun with a blue sword. See you next year. So we skip 10 years. She's got a little under 2 years left. And she walks up to the area and she grabs whatever it is and she just stuffs it on the gun that it goes to. And she goes, okay, who's next? And she looks out and it's an army of random things. Demons, villains, and some heroes have shown up. Some heroes from third world countries that will not be missed because they've been doing some bad things to good people. So they immediately start running at her when she walks off the platform. So she slaughters the army of close to 15,000 demons and humans alike. And when that's over, she gets a good night's sleep of 2 hours. And she's back to killing demons. Because she's back on the Fire Island. Because the Game Master said that the other island is shutting down. And that's because you kind of cut down all the trees. And that's bad for the environment. And she goes, I don't care. I got 2 years left of this world and I don't care. So she went back to the Fire Island. And she's been killing demons constantly. And she's at the point where if anything hits her at all, it does nothing to her. No matter what it is. And each time that she kills something, the Game Master says, your quirk is activated. Your quirk is activated. And she's like, okay, I know what my quirk does now, so you don't need to tell me anymore. He goes, okay. So we skip another year, and he goes, last gift. You have all your clothes, you're fully dressed, you got all your guns, you got the bag that they're held in. Now, this is the last thing to help you travel through the time that I'm basically letting you go through. It's a suit of armor. And I'm calling this the Slayer armor because you. And this armor has been given to every single country to work on. So you have the American ingenuity, you have Chinese ingenuity, you have German ingenuity, you got Russian ingenuity, you got everybody from around the world to put some kind of technology into here. This suit will immediately strap to you and cannot be taken off unless you're 100% safe. And it will fly to you if you're at any point in danger. And she goes, okay. So what now? And, well, he says, now you survive 1 more year after you put the suit on. So she puts the suit on, and one time while she's currently bathing, someone's about to sneak up on her, and the suit flies straight towards her, and she immediately knows that someone's gonna attack her. She's got a HUD display on the suit. The suit allows her to breathe in any kind of conditions. It also helps with temperature regulation, which she doesn't need, and physical damage reduction. So if she ever does get hit while the suit's on, it'll help with dumbing down the pain, or if it does anything, the injury that she'll get. So we skip another year. It's the last day, and Game Master goes, walk to the center and meet me there. So she does, and this old man comes out and goes, you need this and this. And he grabs a piece of paper, or that is his will, and he says, I wrote this 12 years ago. And it has your name on it. And she goes, what do you mean? And he goes, I've been traveling back in time 30 different times, giving you the ability to survive this game. And she goes, what do you mean? And he goes, well, when you first got injected with the thing that cured you of the illness that was given to you by your quirk from killing people, you gain the ability to completely adapt and gain the strength of the people you kill. So what you need now is to remember. So, here you go. Start chewing on this piece of gum. This gum will allow you to keep all your memories from this timeline. And I will send you back in time. I will die in the new timeline immediately after I send you back. But you'll have all your memories, and you'll have everything that I've worked at getting. So, here you go. And he hands her the piece of gum. He hands her his will. And so, she gets sent back in time after she starts chewing on the gum. Because she's drank poison. She's literally eaten acid before, and nothing's happened to her. So she starts chewing on the gum, and he flicks her forehead, and all of a sudden, she's cleaning the gymnasium. She's cleaning the gymnasium because she got in trouble by accidentally saying something bad. And her parents rush into the school because they heard that she got into a fight from somebody from the school. And the school says, no, she didn't get into a fight. She did say some bad language, but she didn't get into a fight. And they go, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Can we go talk to her? And they go, yeah, she's currently cleaning the gymnasium. Here's the map to the gymnasium. So they go and they meet her at the gymnasium, and she acts like nothing's changed because she was told to act like that. Or people will find out that he used his quirk, and she will be sent back forward in time to where she lost her parents. And she asks why, and he goes, because people don't like time travel. And she asks, why is he doing this for her? And he goes, well, I can't say that. But you'll know when you find me again. So she's like, wait, what? So we go back to her talking to her parents about her bad language, and they're saying, like, you're not supposed to talk with negative language. And she's like, I'm sorry, it just slipped out. I'm sorry. And they're like, oh, at least you didn't get into a fight. And she goes, what do you mean a fight? And they go, oh, we were told that you got into a fight by someone in the school district. And she goes, oh, well, I wasn't in a fight. A verbal argument, yeah, but no fight. And they go, you're not supposed to be in an argument either. Very bad. And she goes, I know. It won't happen again, I promise. They go home that day. They look on the news. Some random hero that died when she was in the little hellscape was said to have died. They were a time hero. And she recognized what he looks like, and she's like, that wasn't his quirk. So she walks up to a courthouse one day after turning 18, because this is another time skip of 8 years. She turned 18, and she walked up to a courthouse, and she's like, I have a will from someone, and I'm here to collect on the settlement. And they're like, okay, what is your name? And she says her name. I'm not going to call her by her name. And she's this random person. And they're like, yes, ma'am. Right this way. And she's like, what? So they take her into this room, and they're like, okay, sign these documents with your signature. And so she does. And they're like, okay, the estate is on UA grounds. And she's like, okay, I'll go. So she walks onto UA grounds. And I was like, whoa, you can't be here. And she's like, yeah, I can. She holds up the document saying that she owns a portion of UA property. And he's like, I legitimized? And she goes, well, I just did come from the courthouse. that was my ride from the courthouse. And she points to a limousine. And he goes, okay then. And Nezu comes walking out of his office saying, you're here. It's a real tragedy of what happened to him. And Nezu says his name. And she's like, yeah, it is a real tragedy that he passed away. And Nezu goes, yes. What is your connection? And she's like, he's a friend. And she recognized the last name. I'm not going to say why. Just yet. And he goes, well, time for you to see your new home. And there's also a note that's been left by him that says, you get free admission into UA when you turn 22. So, would you like to wait 4 years before you enter UA so you have 4 free years of UA? Or would you like to join UA now? And she goes, oh, wait. So she walks into the mansion that's on UA property, and she goes, huh. And so she starts walking around, and she sees a chute. And it's called the center. So she clicks a button, and it takes her directly to hell. And she sees it, she gets pissed off. So she immediately punches midair and has a massive force of wind pressure, which shakes all of UA and the mansion above it. So she goes up the lift, and it says, welcome to hell. You've won. Congratulations. And she saw that the cameras are currently offline on the table. Some of the device is pulled apart. So she starts looking at it, tinkering with it. And we skip another 4 years. And it's the entrance exams to UA. And Nezu walks into the giant mansion and sees that everything has been moved around. And he goes, well, can't say I don't blame her for redecorating. He did have a strange way of decorating. And he walks into the armory. And he goes, miss. And she goes, call me Slayer. And he goes, right, Slayer? It's the entrance exams. Would you like to join? And she goes, yeah, I'll join. And she looks up from her device, and she has her helmet on. And she takes off the helmet and turns the power off, because she added a power on and off button. So she turns it off and puts it on the table and goes, how's that little device I sent around the world going? And he goes, well, we're supposed to get it back in 2 days. And she goes, good. So she walks over to the entrance exam, and Aizawa sees her and starts laughing his ass off. Mike sees her and starts shitting himself. All Might sees her and goes, oh, crap. Well, there goes my record. Midnight sees her and goes, ooh, this is going to be fun. Nezu is just being, like, super respectful, and he walks up to the stands and he's like, oh, I forgot how much pressure he sends out every time I go near her. And everybody's like, yeah, that's not the pressure of a normal hero. And he goes, yeah. We need to take care of her and make sure that she's a hero. And Aizawa's like, yeah, she's my favorite student. And they go, she's not a student yet. And he goes, I know she's going to be in my class. And Midnight goes, yeah, she is. And she looks at All Might, and All Might's just shivering because he's starting to feel the pressure from her. He's heard that there's a child that lives on UA campus that isn't ever going to be in the dorms, and they already have dorms. But she's going to be attending UA. That is scary. And he finally met her. And he's like, yeah, she's scary. So we go to the practical exam. And she knows she's already into UA. She can just do whatever the hell she wants and the exams. So she did some upgrades to the section that she's going to be in. And she's with this random girl named Kasuki Bakugo, this girl named Mina Ashido, and another girl called Shota Todoroki. Shota Aizawa. I'm just going to call him Aizawa. Shota Todoroki. And all four of them are there, and she walks up to the front and says, okay, this is going to be fun, because I personally made adjustments to the robots to make them 10 times harder than the normal robots. So the armor is 5 times thicker, so acid, explosions, ice and fire. It'll rip through armor. I made the armor thicker. I made the AI better. And she's saying everything that she's done to these robots, and everybody looks at her like she's crazy. And she goes, oh, don't believe me? She pulls out a holographic screen and shows the other participants who's currently going. And Mike turned off the microphone, or the PA for this one area. This is training ground, I think, Gamma, with all the pipes and areas to jump around on. He turned off the place, the PA for that area. And she goes, okay, once I open these doors, and everybody looks at the doors and sees the gargantuan doors that she's about to open. And she goes, once I open these doors, it's free for all. You do whatever you want to the robots. They're gunning for kill shots. By the way. So she grabs the little handles that she made into each of the doors and rips them open. And just disappears. It's like a Naruto Shunshuin, where they just go poof. They're gone. So everybody starts running in, and they see a trail of destruction. She gets exactly 352 points. 1 point less than All Might's, because I'm making the points a lot easier to get on the other teams. And All Might's like, oh, whew, she didn't go past my record. And he goes, All Might, and this is Nezu, All Might, those robots are stronger than those robots. And he points at the screen with the other students, and he goes, but she ripped through them like they're paper. And they go, yeah, that's why she's so terrifying to most of us. And he goes, would I be able to fight one later? And he goes, with your time limit, no. But maybe she'll be able to dumb one down so you can fight them. And he goes, but, and he goes, yeah, that's how strong they are. Let's just keep watching. So she rips through him like paper, and she's like, I think I have enough to break his record. Let me just go for a few more robots. So she rips through a few more robots, and he goes, oh, my score. And 15 zero-pointers come out. And these aren't the big, massive zero-pointers. These are tiny, imp-sized zero-pointers. Imps are like a foot tall, foot wide at most. And they dart around like crazy. And they're running around. They're a nuisance. They're not supposed to actually be damaged or hit. And one of the zero-pointers sees her, and it's just programmed to go and annoy. That's it. And it starts buzzing around her like a fly. So it's about to jump in front of her, and she just thrusts her arm out right in front of the imp, and she slams the imp into a wall. She's like, oh, I forgot how annoying I made those. Well, time for another test. And she walks over to Bakugo and, yes, it's Bakugo, Todoroki, Ashido, and another one that she's like, oh, you finally showed up. Well, time for another test. And this will say if you're the strongest person in school or not. Because currently I am. And they all look at her and they go, but you're younger than us, aren't you? And she goes, no. aren't you guys 18? And they all go, yeah. And she goes, well, I have a Cheshire cat. Freaking demonic as all hell. I have a alien. And Mina goes, I'm not an alien. She goes, I know. You look like an alien, though. That's the only time I'm going to actually reference that. I got a tabby. And they all look at Bakugo, and they're like, what? And she goes, oh, yeah, Bakugo, don't hide your cat parts. They're cute. And Bakugo hears that and goes, I'm not cute. Freaking terrifying. And they go, okay. And without them noticing, Slayer releases some killing intent on Bakugo and says, don't hide your cat parts. Okay? And Bakugo's like, yes, ma'am. And all of a sudden, ears flap up and a tail falls out of her shirt. And they're all like, oh, cute! So they're all looking at Bakugo, complimenting Bakugo, and Bakugo's like, I don't like compliments. So, I'm gonna have to end it soon. Dang it. So, the Slayer says, well, last test. You gotta lay a single scratch on me. And she takes off her little gauntlet and she goes, go ahead. And she holds out her arm and Bakugo runs up and uses her claws and explosions to try to leave a scratch. No scratch. Mina walks up and starts just completely secreting all the acid she can, and her hands the skin on her hands start to boil off. Yes, acid can boil. And it starts to hurt Mina. And she's like, okay, you can stop that now. That's not working. And there's one person who knows that they can't do anything to the physical body. So she's like, how about mental trauma? So she starts floating around, doing everything she can to mentally break her, and nothing happens. She's like, test is over in 5, 4, and Mina and Bakugo both at the same time attack Slayer. And they're both completely shut down by her skin's durability. So they're like, what the hell is this? And she goes, oh, don't worry. I can be hurt. And she takes out a very strange handle thing, and she clicks a button and it comes out and it looks purple. And she just digs it into her arm and goes, see, I can be hurt. And she pulls it out and all of a sudden the wound starts to heal. And I go, what is your quirk? And she goes, don't need to tell you. Actually, I don't know the name of it, but I know what it does. And I've been training the last 12 years to master it. And they go, okay then. And she goes, good. Now, time to go home. And she walks directly into the center of UA and clicks a button. It's like a car keys. Clicks a button and all of a sudden this giant mansion appears. She walks in, clicks another button, and it disappears. I'm going to end it off here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Wait. No. If you guys did like this, please hit that like button. But if you like the old series better, tell me in the comments and tell me why you like the old series better. Because this one's going to be done very slow. I like this start a little bit better. And if anybody caught on to the reference that I gave off, I think it's from Who. Maybe not. It may be from something else. But I gave off a reference. So if you guys got the reference and know where it's from, please tell me, because I'm an idiot most of the time. So if you guys like this, please consider hitting that like button. If you guys want the other version back instead of this one, please tell me in the comments politely. I don't like being insulted when I do something wrong, but it's hilarious. And if you guys do like my content, please consider subscribing. If you just like this video, please consider hitting that like button. So, talk to you guys later. Bye!